Hey guys, and welcome back to another review to which called the Fluttering Poolside banner. We're officially getting another tracking circular banner, guys. I'm so excited for this banner here. If you guys were here around a month and a half ago, it's been quite some time. They actually introduced a brand new ability known as the Tracking Circular. And it's been quite some time since we last got it, so it's really nice to see them bring it back to us and not just scrap the idea and hold it for special occasions, which I'm really happy with. Nonetheless, we're seeing Ronnie and Tisei within this banner here. And this banner in general is actually pretty good. If you guys are in need of just water or holy or just 4 convent characters here, definitely give this banner a scout. There will be raid ups, FYI, with that inside the screen for you guys. So if you guys are looking for a certain character, save your memory diamonds and scout. Don't go gung-ho on it just yet. There will be raid ups. So nonetheless, these characters are pretty good. They offer HP recovery. Now this is instant recovery, how I like to call it, not auto recovery. So these characters will actually recover HP in one huge segment instead of recovering it over time. A very nice ability to have for the 4 convents. And we also have the Tracking Circular ability. Now, I'll get more in depth of it as to how it actually works in the SS3 demos here. For the most part, I do fully understand it to an extent. There are some things I am kind of curious about, but I do have one of the characters here. So if you guys do have any questions about this new ability, I know it was like the hot thing around the anime climax for Alice. Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure other people would be more than happy to help as well. But if you guys are curious or have any questions about them, it would be my pleasure to answer your questions. I have no problem with that. But nonetheless, the Tracking Circular ability is excellent for building combo. So far, all the Tracking Circular characters have a stock 13-hit combo. And the Tracking Circular ability does a 14-hit combo. Now, the Tracking Circular does little to no damage, but it does build combo. So I always find the Tracking Circular ability excellent for keeping combo, and I can keep my distance while avoiding a boss's attack while the Tracking Circular builds my combo, so that way my combo stays longer while I'm away from the enemy, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm a huge fan of this ability. But you are able to build a total of 27 hits just from your SS3 and the Tracking Circular. But if you guys were to include your auto attacks before the ability actually does disappear, you are able to build a full 33 hits. Depending on how you look at it, 27 to 33 hits. But nonetheless, when you are spamming your SS3s and you're just building 27 hits from one character, that's incredible. These characters are great for building combo. If you guys need them for the 4 events, and sometimes it can be used for the ranked events as well, these characters will be great for that matter. Now, we are getting a limit break ability for these characters here for the anime climaxed Alice. Do tell me if I am wrong, but I'm pretty sure she didn't have another ability, or a limit break ability, I should say. But these characters do. If you guys do break your characters twice, you guys will unlock the damage canceling barrier. So this ability, think about it as like a safeguard or as a safety cushion. So let's say if you miss a parry or you accidentally get hit with this ability active here, you won't have to worry about taking any damage, any repercussions of getting hit like knockback or losing your combo. So basically, it soaks up that one hit. It's like an oopsie mistake per se. It's really nice. I'm a huge fan of it. It's great for the 4 event, especially when you're fighting against bosses. Allows you to keep your combo, and then you also have the HP recovery, so you can build HP if you get actually hit and you lose your barrier here. So these characters are actually really good. They're great for the 4 event. I definitely recommend picking them up if you are in need of tanky characters. These characters would be great for that matter. Now, I do want to get into this real quick here. There are some weapon changes, if you guys haven't already noticed. And I'll actually leave it on the left side of the screen for you guys. Somebody did R5 the weapons that I think they posted in the Discord here. So we will be able to see these percentage stats for the R5 weapons if you guys were curious about that. Nonetheless, as you guys can see here, these stock weapons are normally plus 10% attack, minus 10% MP, and plus 10% of something else. They did change that recently, but it got changed to skill damage, and you have to build a combo for that. Now, normally when you have to build a combo for something, that means it's non-elemental locked. That means you can use that on any character, and you get all the abilities or buffs that the weapons offers to any elemental character. Per se, these are wind weapons, and I can use them on earth characters, and still get all the buffs, like the attack buff, the skill damage buff here. Now, for the new weapons, we're seeing a percentage difference in a new ability change. We're getting a plus 12% attack instead of the normal 10. The MP is still 10%, which is nice. And we're getting a brand new ability here On the side here, it's skill damage plus 10%, but here it is actually crit plus 12%, which is really nice. But it is element locked, so this means you can only use this weapon on water or holy characters to get this crit ability. This does not mean that the MP and attack is element locked. You guys can use these weapons on any character, fire, earth, non-elemental, it doesn't matter, and you guys will still get the MP and attack buff. This just means that you won't get the crit buffed if you guys use them on mismatched element characters. This is all that means, which is absolutely nice. Around this time last year, for the 5-star era, they had the, I think it was the MP. It was element locked MP, and it was absolutely horrible. So this means, this is a long time ago. You guys don't have to worry about weapons like this anymore. But if you used like a fire sword on a water character, you guys wouldn't get the MP reduction, which was absolutely horrible. It was really sucky. I'm happy they changed it for the better or the worse. But here, it's just for the ability, this side ability here, which is absolutely incredible. Now, is it worth scouting for? I would say more or less, if you guys are in need of weapons and you guys want something stronger, like even outdated water sword or a holy sword, it wouldn't be a bad scout. It's pretty good. It's going to be a little bit stronger, but nothing too crazy where you have to go crazy over. It's just going to be a little bit stronger. It's a little different change of pace. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to stick with us from the future banners here. I'm not sure if it's just for this banner in particular. It might be. The reason why I'm saying I don't know is because this is the newest banner here. And I want to say within the next week, week and a half, we'll be getting another banner, and we'll be able to solidify whether they stick with these changes and or these changes are just for this banner in particular. But we'll have to see. Overall, I think this banner is great. Definitely give it a scout. There will be write-ups. Now, I'm a huge fan of both these characters here. I think these characters came out great. As you guys probably know, I'm a huge sucker for paired idle animations, and these characters do happen to have that. Here you have Ronnie here, kind of putting her sword aside with her hand on her face with a very cool and gentle smile. I think it's really adorable. Overall, I'm a huge fan of the paired idle animations. We don't get to see them too often, but when we do, I think they come out great. Nonetheless, here we have Ronnie here doing a 13-hit combo stock. Now, as you guys can see here, actually messed it up, but as you guys can see here, the tracking circular does not latch onto the enemy if you guys are using the tracking circular characters to end with. No, the way how I'm saying this is, so let's say if I use an SS3 and then switch into a tracking circular character, this means using a normal character, switching into tracking circular. This means the tracking circular ability will stick on me, which is kind of crappy when it's not really all that neat. So you won't get the tracking circular ability. You do have to actually walk up to them and attach it to them, which isn't a huge issue, but the way you can actually utilize this to the full ability is if you start with your tracking circular character and then switch into a random character on your side. So tracking circular first, and then another character that doesn't have it. So as you guys can see here, I have two tracking circular ability characters, which I can only play with. But even though I have two, the tracking circular is only able to stay, or there's only one tracking circular able to be on screen at one time. So the tracking circular won't actually have two on screen, which is neat. It won't be terribly overpowered, but there is a limit to it. But as I was saying, start with your tracking circular character first, and then switch into another random character. So that way, it can build that combo, build 27 hits incredibly fast, which is absolutely incredible here. So notice here we have Ronnie here. I'm a huge fan of the SS3 animations. They were so colorful. We have Ronnie kind of having like this rainbow. I'm a huge fan of it. There's so much going on. If you guys do happen to have these characters, let me know how great the AoEs on both these characters here. I do plan on getting one of them. I will be scouting on all the rate ups here, so I will be able to see for myself eventually. But hopefully, I will be getting one of these characters here. But the AoE looks absolutely massive on Ronnie and Tisei here. Overall, I'm a huge fan of these characters here, but do be careful. Unlike the anime climax Alice, her SS3 does stick next to the enemy relatively close. These characters have incredible range for their SS3, but that incredible range, it means that they'll be incredibly far from the enemy. So I'm going to see if I can push the enemy a little bit waist here, and you guys will be able to see what I mean. So I'm somewhat far away from the enemy. The further away from the enemy, I feel like the further away I do end up away from the enemy on the other side of them. It depends on where you're at, but these enemies do teleport on the other side, and they do have incredible distance between the enemy and themselves after spamming their SS3, depending on where your positioning is. So you do want to be careful when you are spamming your SS3. So if you are building MP, or you need to build an MP, you will have to walk up to the enemy a little bit here, which isn't a huge issue. Just minor nitpick. So nonetheless, you have Ronnie here, a 13 hit combo stack, or stock, 27 hit combo with the tracking circular. Overall, not bad. I'm a huge fan of this character here. Next, we have Tisei. I'm pretty sure this one's Tisei. Always get the two mixed up. A paired idle animation. Now, she does have a different hairstyle, as you guys can probably see. I'm pretty sure Ronnie's still the same, but Tisei's here. Her hair is kind of pointing to the back, and we do have soul hairs on the side. Very neat. I'm very happy with the model changes here. Ronnie does face on the left, and Tisei does face on the right, which is pretty neat. Both have their hands in their face. Like I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of the paired idle animations. So nonetheless, another 13-hit combo, as you guys can probably see. She does build sandcastles. I'm a huge fan of the SS3 animations. I think they came out great here. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the tracking circuit ability, do it in the comments below. I think I covered, for the most part, everything I know about them. Start with the tracking circular characters first, switch into another character afterwards, so that way the tracking circuit ability connects to the enemy normally, instead of you having to walk up to them. It will connect to them normally after you switch into another character. They do build a 14-hit combo. Now, if you guys are keeping your distance away from the enemy, as you guys can see here, the tracking circular does do a stock 14-hit combo, but if you guys are far away enough from the enemy, and you guys walk up to them after quite some time, the 14 hits will still connect, as you guys can see here, which is really nice. It doesn't dissipate too quick, and the hits will still fully connect, which is really nice. So overall, this is a great banner. I would definitely recommend scouting on it if you guys are in need of just water holy characters in general, and or if you guys need some 4-card event characters. These guys are tanks. Definitely pick them up if you guys need some tanks for your teams. Now, in terms of weapons, if you guys need weapons, it wouldn't be a bad grab here. But it's nothing to go gung-ho about. Like, 2% isn't a huge difference, and the crit here, we got crit, I think it was before they changed the weapon types here. I think it was crit before we got the skill damage. So it's only plus 12%. Instead of having to build combo, you get it immediately, which isn't a huge issue here. These weapons aren't terribly overpowered or terribly better versus the other weapons here, but it's something a little different, and they're just a tad bit better. So overall, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's review here. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions, or if you guys end up scouting and getting somebody. I'm very curious. Let me know in the comments below. And also, hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.